Your public success versus your private reality can be two very different things. And when we see people out there who achieve things that we either want now or more than what we want now, we tend to edify those people with their titles or their status or their credentials. And what we tend to miss is the cost of becoming that thing, of getting the achievement, of achieving the goal. A previous client of mine was a former Olympic athlete. She was a philanthropist, she's a helicopter pilot, she was doing public speaking because after her Olympic career, she took a downhill spiral and got herself out of it and then started talking about her story. And she was someone that a lot of people really looked up to, but there was a cost to what was happening to her. And this is something that most people tend to miss or don't even look at. Because when you think about it, we see these people. We see people who they've got the business we want. They're in the leadership position we want. They've got the money that we may want. And we see the titles, the achievement, and the status. Because the way we all see success can be very different to everyone else. And in our minds, we tend to think that, you know what, if I just get there, I'll also be free. You've got someone talking about being financially free, and you think, well, look, if I can just get there, then I'll be free as well. And we edify the person who made it, who has what we're aspiring to achieve. This can start to turn into those comfortable lies, which I talk about a lot. These are those lies that we say to ourselves to make us feel more comfortable, feel more protected. They could be things like, you know what, if I achieve the thing, then I'll be liberated. If I get those titles or that credential or that business, then that'll protect me. Or if I achieve successfully, if I have this public success, then privately I'll also be free. The problem with this is that it can become very easy to buy into our own press, into our own image. And we may start to think that your public image is you. As my client said, I thought I was liberated because I'd achieved so many things. But it turns out achievement and liberation are two very different things. So I wanted to break that down a little bit. Because I wanted to break this down a little bit because I wanted to break this down a little bit because it brings up a level of authenticity that I believe we all need to aspire to be like, and it's something that I aspire to be like as well. In the world we live in today, what we see out there, the public image is very different typically to what is really happening behind the scenes. You'll see the Olympian, the CEO, the expert, whoever it is. You'll see all the social media highlight reels and all the achievements and the successes that they're having. You'll see the I've got it all together image, like everything's working, they've got that professional polish and everything just looks amazing. But this starts to create something in parallel with it. It creates people who start to edify you, who put you above them. You start to believe that you have to maintain this ongoing image, even if it's not who you are, if it's completely false to your authentic self. Maybe you start to think that you can't share the actual struggle that you're going through on a day-to-day basis because, you know, successful people, they don't share their struggles. And you can end up isolated, alone, in your own achievement. What my client started to notice when she was having conversations with people is that everyone saw the image. They saw the Olympic athlete. They saw the public speaker. Everyone saw that image of her, but behind it, they weren't seeing the struggle, the cost, the reality that everything wasn't great for her all the time. Because when people see titles, they stop seeing you. They're no longer looking at you. All they're seeing is the projection of what those titles, those achievements, those credentials mean. Behind all those titles, behind the achievements, the highlight reels, nobody really sees what's actually going on. Nobody sees the price that people are paying on a day-to-day basis to get there. The failing, the quitting, the struggling to stay consistent, to get up, to get motivated every day. The constant pressure to maintain an image for everyone. The being hard on yourself behind the scenes because high performers don't struggle. So if I'm a high performer, I can't struggle. Sometimes it's not talking to friends about what you're actually going through because you don't want to seem less than, because you're putting on this big persona and this this big image out there. But very importantly, especially if you're doing work with clients, one-on-one deep work or anything like that, like coaching or something like that, your own clients end up not knowing you because you keep hiding. You keep holding things back. You're the consultant or the coach, so you need to have it all together and you don't struggle. This can create an isolation pattern where the more success that you have actually creates more isolation, because you can start to hold back because you don't want to be embarrassed, or due to embarrassment, you're not sharing your real story, so you're putting up walls and you're closing everyone else off. You spend more time protecting your image instead of actually being human, or you start to compare yourself more. You're constantly comparing yourself more by saying, well, I should be doing more, or I shouldn't be doing this. And what my client really started to realize, this was one of the things that we had to unpack and help her beyond, was that when she was having conversations, when she was going to go somewhere else, she was holding herself back because she didn't want to be seen as too much, or even feel like not being enough compared to other people that she was working with. It was a big fear of hers about what would people think. But the question isn't what would people think. The question is, well, what am I protecting? Am I protecting my value, or am I protecting my image? What we had to do was integrate her authenticity. And this is where you kind of stop maintaining your image and you start to become integrated. This is when you start sharing more than just the achievement alone, just hitting the goal alone. This is when you share the cost to you of actually getting there to begin with. Letting people see you fail, see you quit sometimes, see the struggle that you've gone through to get there. It's when you realize that your value isn't being above anyone, and that understanding that everyone's story can be amazing, but it's the cost that really matters. When my client really understood this, she started to go places that she wouldn't have gone before because that fear was holding her back, where she started being real, where she was sharing her struggle, sharing more of her story, more of the behind the scenes. And you know what happened? The public actually responded better, not worse. And when she started sharing her struggles in actual one-on-one conversations with people, people weren't closing off anymore. They used to went because they felt inadequate against what she had achieved. But when she actually started talking about what she was struggling with on a day-to-day basis, even today, after everything that she'd achieved, people started to open up more, which means that she could open up more as well. Because people don't want just your highlights. They want your humanity. They want to see you. When you're able to be more human, to share your humanity, be more of you, you go from I'm the person who achieved X to I'm the person who went through so much to get here. From protecting your image to sharing the reality of life. And from an isolated success to a connected authenticity. Because there is a price to everything. There's the price of achievement. There's the price of maintaining the image. But there's also a price of not being authentic. And that price, in my opinion, is significantly higher. Every time I work with high achievers, this pattern comes up in one form or another. The better they look on the outside, the more isolated they usually feel on the inside, and the more real the struggle is. That public success without the private authenticity equals a slow death to the soul. I mean, you can have all the titles, you can have all the credentials, you can even have your achievements, and still be imprisoned by them. One of the most powerful things that high achievers or high performers can do is share the cost. Let people see what it actually took to get there. Stop edifying the titles and start honing in on your humanity. Now, if that's you right now, if you feel like you're trying to just maintain an image, you're trying to put yourself out there, but it's not the authentic you, it's not the real you, just remember that this is costing you. And that cost really compounds. And to help get you out of it, I've got a couple of questions for you, which if you answer them honestly, will bring the answers that are going to get you moving forward. And the first question is, what am I not sharing now? Because I think it'll damage my image. Whatever answer comes up, whatever that is for you, just remember that this is your prison, right? This is what we need to understand to help you break out of it. The second question is, who am I protecting with this polished version of myself? And spoiler here, it's not the people you're trying to help. And then the last question is, what would an integrated authenticity look like for me? It could be something like the public image is matching the private reality. No gap, no mask put on. Your value isn't being above anyone, it's being real with everyone. The titles don't make you valuable, your humanity does. If this is hitting home for you, and maybe you're realizing that you've been maintaining an image or trying to maintain an image instead of living in an integrated, authentic way, leave a comment below. Let me know. Tell me what image you're trying to protect. Share it. And if you find this video valuable, I ask you, like the video, share it, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I create videos like this every week, and my goal is to always reach more people, spread the word more, and serve as many people as I can. And your help would always be appreciated. And lastly, maybe something is really resonating with you and you want to have a conversation. There's a link below in the description. Please click it. I'd love to have a conversation with you, and we'll have a chat about whatever it is that you're struggling with. Just remember that people, they edify titles all the time. I mean, we all do it in one form or another, but you don't have to. You just got to be human. And that's where real freedom lives. Thanks so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.